Spotlight on Channel 39. I'm your host, Amos Alexander. On tonight's show, I wanted to introduce all of our viewers at home to an awesome style of music called ska. It's been a huge part of the Orange County music scene, and here to tell us more about ska music, we've got Tara Pierce, the lead singer of a band called Half Past Two. Thanks for joining us, Tara.
It's neat to be here.
Awesome, right on. So first off, for the audience at home, what exactly is ska music?
The very shortened version, just to save us some time, is it started in Jamaica. It became popular later in the United Kingdom. They started a show called Dance Craze, and people saw it on TV. They loved it. That's kind of how it got popular over here in the U.S. And then in the 90s, there was kind of a revival that people call the third wave. That's like No Doubt and like, you know, Sublime and all the bands Real Big Fish, all the bands that people probably associate with 90s ska music today. So that's kind of the shortened history of ska.
Okay. So you're the lead singer of a ska band. How did the band first get started?
Well, about 10 years ago, we were, a lot of us, well, the whole original band, we were in high school together. And I was not in the band at that time, but they definitely had formed and they were looking for a singer. So in 2006, I joined as the singer, and it's just been a kind of a roller coaster ride ever since. But we're not all still together, but there is a majority of the band is still together.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right on. So I know that you guys did hit like a bit of a rough patch, but now you guys are back and stronger than ever. What's that like?
It's a great experience this time because I feel like we're all friends, and there's definitely a new energy in the room just because everyone's really enthusiastic and excited to be there, and it just feels great to be back playing shows. I felt like there was a giant hole in my life when we stopped performing, and now that we're back, it's just exciting to see people, meet new people, and all that good stuff. So
what's the biggest highlight of being back?
Well, since we've been back, it's been an interesting time because we get to reconnect with a lot of people that maybe we were friends with before, or there's a lot of new bands out there, so that's kind of exciting. But the biggest highlight, I think, for us was over the summer, we were given the opportunity to headline our own show, which I have personally never done with the band. So even though it was kind of it was a hustle, and we had to, you know, get the promoter, we had to show the promoter what we could do, and we did. We brought 500 people showed up just for us. There was over like 1,000 people there, so it was a really good experience and a great feeling that people still cared.
That's awesome. Yeah, I actually got to go to that show, and the crowd was nuts. Like, they're all singing along and dancing, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, there's like lots of people in like costumes, like craziness going on.
That's just how the ska scene is, though, kind of. You know, everyone has a very interesting and outgoing personality, so everyone's there to make friends. So.
Yeah, it seems like you have to be a little wild to, you know, really be a ska kid, which is awesome, you know.
If you want to stick out, yes, I think so, but you can blend in and still have a lot of fun at a ska show. So.
Right on. Well, we've got to actually go to a commercial break, but we'll be right back. Hang in there, everyone at home. We'll be right back to hear more from Tara Pierce.
The first thing that really sets Saddleback's film production classes apart from all the others is the fact that it's enormously emphasized on building job skills.
We provide our students with top-of-the-line HD equipment for the field, including cameras, audio, lighting packages, grip equipment, and all the other necessary tools so they can work on their projects and provide a professional product and use professional equipment. Saddleback College has always prided itself on being a very hands-on educational experience.
The whole premise of our classes in our department and the training and the equipment we buy, the reason that we have the latest in high-definition technology, the reason that we use industry-standard lighting and audio, that you can go out and get jobs actually in the field.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Amos Alexander, and I'm here with Tara Pierce, the lead singer of Half Past Two. We're talking about ska music. So, what do you think is the coolest thing about the ska scene?
I really think it's the people that go to the shows. Mostly just because, like I said before, it's a really interesting group. Everyone's there and they're interested in meeting other people and in being out, you know. A lot of people don't like to go out anymore. It's kind of a struggle to get people there. Not at a ska show. People want to be there.
Yeah.
They want to make new friends, see their old friends. It's like one giant clique, if you can imagine. Like it's really cool. I mean, I'm sure you've seen.
Oh
how
yeah,
it gets
for sure. You always make friends at ska shows. It's
Everyone's
great.
super outgoing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So, question:
yes.
what's it like being in a band that has like all sorts of different types of instruments? You got your trumpets, saxophone, like all sorts of different things.
It's the coolest type of band. I've been in lots of different types of bands, but this one there's more musicians in this band than I've in any other band. For instance, I have 2 saxophone players that can play, you know, pretty much anything. If they didn't want to play saxophone, I could let them play piano or whatever. But it's fun. Practice sometimes gets a little screwy because we goof off a lot. There's lots of instruments to play with. So.
Yeah. So, like, what's your favorite song to play live?
I like to play this song that we have called 1,000 Miles Away, personally because I think it's the most fun to sing. I think we have other songs that maybe translate better live. We Want More is really fun to play live because we use like audience participation and you know, it's definitely a feeling. Those songs are a feeling. So I like that song. We usually like make everyone get all the way down on the ground. We'll wait till everybody in the entire venue is down on the floor and then we'll play. It's amazing. They'll do it. They do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, we're starting to run out of time.
Okay.
But I have heard that you're going to have an EP coming out soon.
Yes.
So everyone definitely stay tuned for that. We've got to go, but this is Tara Pierce. I'm Amos Alexander. And here's a little sample of some songs from Half Festival.
Thought I heard your voice 1,000 miles away, but I didn't hear a thing at all. And I'm so captivated by every word you said. I tried to stand, but I just fall. I don't know how or who we are again. I hope it turns out better this time in the end.
Hello everyone and welcome to OC Spotlight. My name is Katerina Lova and I'll be your host for the evening. Today we have a lovely guest with us who will introduce us to a fairly new yet already successful organization called Wunderkid, a Russian learning center fully centered around the Russian culture. Please welcome one of the founders as well as a staff member, Anna Morrison. Hi Anna, thank you
Hello.
for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, well tell us a little bit, what is Wunderkid?
Wunderkid is a non-profit organization that was created to provide the Russian community with the best Russian education and expose anybody interested to the beauty of Russian culture.
Interesting. Now, where did you get the name Wunderkid and what does that mean?
Wunderkid comes from German, but it was adopted in the Russian language and it means a very bright child and a genius. And that's how we treat every single child in our center.
Wow, I see. So what encouraged you and the rest of the founders to start this organization? What were your influences?
Well, we're a group of very enthusiastic teachers, very enthusiastic about the Russian culture and language, and we do have our own kids. So one day we thought, why not create a place where we can provide our own children with the best Russian education? And that's how we started.
So tell us a little bit, what kind of programs does Wunderkid have to offer?
Wunderkid offers a variety of classes. We do have language classes, we have a math class, we have Mommy and Me class. Anything that's related to the Russian education and Russian culture.
Wow, so you mentioned there's a class, Mommy and Me. What kind of age groups does it cater?
You can start as early as 2, and your parents can attend this class with you, and then the rest of the classes go up to 10 years old currently.
Interesting. And what are the rest of the programs? Is it also kind of all age-based?
We do have a very popular class that's called Fairy Tale by Me. So it's based off Russian folklore, and kids get to actually act it out on the stage. Everything else is age appropriate or even level appropriate. And it provides overall stimulation for a child.
Interesting. Okay, well, you said that earlier your classes target Russian culture. How does it do so?
We do follow the Russian schedule of all the festivities and holidays, and we do observe them here, so we do expose our children to the calendar. So we have winter season coming up, and lots of events are planned for that, and we did have our first performance. It's called Cat's House, and it was based off a very popular folklore story that every kid knows in Russia.
That's awesome. And I see there are a lot of Russian books here. So do you guys actually read Russian literature? Is it all Russian literature, or is it American as well?
We do expose the children to the Russian literature first of all, so each and every class will involve anything from the traditional folklore.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Well, tell me a little bit more about the, and actually, you know what? You can tell me a little bit more about it after a commercial break. Because it sounds like WonderKid has a lot more than the average learning center, and we'll be right back after this commercial break. So stay with us and you'll find out more about Russian language.
Saddleback College enriches its students and the South Orange County community by providing a comprehensive array of high-quality courses and programs. We foster student learning and success in the attainment of academic degrees and career technical certificates, transfer to four-year institutions, and improvement of basic skills. We hope Saddleback College will be your first choice.
And welcome back, everyone. I'm Katerina Lova, and I'm here today accompanied by WonderKid representative Anna Morrison. And from what we've talked about, it sounds like WonderKid is a very interesting and fun place for children, ranging from ages 2 to 10, and it really does a great job of teaching kids a fun manner while also exposing them to the Russian culture. So now that you've told me a little bit more about the just WonderKid, what it is, can you tell us more about those events that you mentioned and that play that you did? What was that?
Yeah, just like I mentioned before, we do follow the Russian traditional calendar of all the holidays and festivities. So we did release our first performance. It's called Cat's House. The next event planned for us is a Halloween masquerade, where we'll bring all the kids dressed up and we'll play traditional games. And of course, we have winter season coming up with lots and lots of interesting events. So that will be New Year's, and that'll be Christmas for us, and the celebration of the old year too. So we can't wait to celebrate that and expose the children to that.
Awesome. And how does Russian New Year's Christmas differ from American?
It's not that different. We do have a different name for Santa Claus. That's Father Frost, and he does have a little helper with him called Snegurочка. So basically the same concept, the same events, only children have to recite poems to Grandpa Frost in order to get a gift.
Oh, wow, interesting. Sounds like you guys have a lot going on. So if someone wants to join WonderKid, how can one do so?
It's very easily, actually. All you have to do is give us a call, give us some information about yourself or about your child, and then come and try our free trial lesson. And then, you know, that's how we begin.
Wow, well, it sounds like it's very easy to get started. So now that you told us about the basics of Wunderkid, can you tell us what exactly makes you different? What makes you stand out?
Well, not only do we provide educational programs for the children, but we also cater for their parents. We do have seminars for the parents in the Russian language. We do have tea for them where they can communicate. And that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Well, thank you once again for being here. And my name is Katerina Lova, and this has been OC Spotlight. So have a great night, and it was such a pleasure having you here.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining me today on OC Spotlight. My name is Elise Ard, and we have a great show planned for you today. I am very excited about today's guest. We have here Mike Hill, who is the entrepreneur and owner and director of AOSA. And today we'll get the pleasure to dive in and learn more about his unique business. So without further ado, Mike Hill.
Oh, thanks, Elise, for having me.
You're very welcome. Thank you for coming. And why don't we just start with the basics of what AOSA stands for and why you decided to name your company that.
Well, AOSA stands for the Art of Sustainable Action. I named it to provide kind of a pathway for myself, for the company as a whole as it travels through its lifespan. So providing for the community, by the community, continuously, without me involved. So sustaining action going forward.
That sounds very different from a Starbucks. I'm sure they didn't put that much thought into their name, so I like it. And I hear you have different departments. Could you explain those a little bit?
Certainly. Basically, we have an artisanal coffee shop, which serves fresh juice, acai bowls, and organic fair trade coffees from Stumptown. Then in the back, we have a full-blown wood shop, where we build displays for companies like Cliff Bar, Burton, Tom's Shoes. And we have a design department that designs the things. We have a print department, which prints on natural materials like cotton and silks for application display. And then we have a random rock wall, which I got from Bally's Total Fitness, which we have for mostly exercise and kind of R&D.
Wow. Well, I hear you have these different departments in order to maintain the B Corporation that you are. Could you explain to us what that is?
Well, B Corps are complicated little beasts, okay. But basically it stands for Benefit Corporation. A benefit corporation, I guess I'll rewind a little bit, but a benefit corporation lines up my own personal value structure, which I'm a Christian, calling it out. And the B Corporation allows me to kind of translate my own personal values into the company. So therefore I can help the community grow, the community can help me grow, and we can be accountable to the community for philanthropic endeavors.
Wow. Well, that sounds like a really great industry. And unfortunately, we do have to go on a quick commercial break. But if you stick around, we'll learn some more exciting information about AOSA. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Saddleback College enriches its students and the South Orange County community by providing a comprehensive array of high-quality courses and programs. We foster student learning and success in the attainment of academic degrees and career technical certificates, transfer to four-year institutions, and improvement of basic skills. We hope Saddleback College will be your first choice.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Elise Ard, and we are back with OC Spotlight. talking to Mike Hill about his fantastic business. And so far we've learned that Mike here is the owner of AOSA Coffee, which stands for Art of Sustainable Action. And you can find it in beautiful Huntington Beach. And we've also learned that AOSA is a B Corporation, which essentially just means that it's beneficial to its community. So Mike, what can we expect as our next beneficial project from AOSA?
Well, I'm super stoked you asked me that. First off, passionate about it, so bear with me. It is basically juicing for the homeless. What that means is I will be taking all the gross vegetables and fruits that we see thrown away by grocery stores and juicing them, providing little micro kegs, which then delivered to homeless shelters, which then the homeless people can, or displaced families can then juice, deliver out, and then working on the blends to make it so the families like them and everyone kind of enjoys having this nutritious, would have been trash juice.
Wow. And what made you want to start a project like that?
Well, I was working in a homeless shelter and I was handing out bread and tapioca balls, like for boba. And I was just like, this is a lot of starch. And I know for myself personally, having that much bread and starch would be kind of lethargic. I mean, when you eat like 2 pizzas in a row, you kind of get the same gist. So the idea was, if juice makes me kind of revitalize, kind of refresh myself, it'd be great to provide the same thing to the displaced or the homeless.
Oh.
So that was the kind of the start of the idea.
I love that idea, and I think a lot of other people would probably want to get behind it. So what would you say to the people who are wanting to get involved?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, check your heart. Like, see why you want to get involved, like the reasoning, so that if it's my project, if it's someone else's kind of philanthropic endeavor, you know that you can continue on outside of that. That's sustainable action.
Right.
But if they want to help out in our project, they come out to the coffee shop, which is going to be called The Commons, coming up here shortly. And they would just show up, talk to Matt, Tom, or David, one of the guys that works there, or gals, Amber, and see what they can do. I mean, any hand's a good hand, especially when it comes to delivery and those kind of things. So
sounds like a lot of people could be used in this, and that they just need to get their heart in the right place and stop on by, and we could probably post that address of your shop on the screen for them. And you mentioned the Commons, and I'm personally bummed that there is only one AOSA coffee shop. Are you planning on expanding to any more Commons?
Well, we were just talking about this like 2 days ago or yesterday. It's all a blur. But we are looking at opening another one locally in the next probably year, near college campuses to help serve the college, providing a place for meaningful conversation, kind of learning to take place. Also providing an outlet for the students to then get involved with these philanthropic endeavors. But hopefully in the next, we'll say, 2 months, we'll have a plan to lay out, between 40 and 60 of them in the next, year, 2 years, maybe 3 years.
Wow.
So fingers crossed how it goes.
Well, I wish you the best of luck with your expansion plans. I am personally very excited about that. And unfortunately, we do have to end our show for today, so thank you for joining us, and we appreciate you. And this has been OC Spotlight, and have a great day, everyone.
Thanks. See you guys all later.
Hello, welcome to South Orange County. I'm your host, Brad Grinnell, for OC Spotlight on Channel 39. I bet you have a bunch of music on your iPhone right now. But where did it come from? How did it sound so good? Well, to do that, you need equipment. You also need a place to work to experiment with this equipment to make it fit your music needs. What you need is a recording studio. Manifest Productions is just such a studio. They're located in Lake Forest. They've been doing it for around 7 years. They were a talk with Kenneth Hunter and Saman Ali, Manifest owners and producers. Kenneth, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm 25. I play guitar, dabble with drums and some other instruments, and I've been playing music since I was about 11 years old.
Saman, what is your connection to the studio?
Well, me and Kenneth, and we have a third member, Kyle Salzman. We're all like co-founders, co-producers of the studio.
What makes your studio unique from other studios?
I would say our pricing is very affordable. That's what kind of draws a lot of bands to us, but we also have very good professional quality songs that we, pump out for them.
Try to be the right studio for the average, band.
Yeah.
What are some of your biggest achievements as a production studio?
I would say we, have achieved a lot of, in our minds, an achievement of touching ground with a lot of bands around Southern California and working with such people as Austin Sands from Metro Station and, YouTube videos with our music reaching hundreds of thousands of views has been pretty awesome for us as an achievement.
What would you say is your strength as a producer?
Well, Kenneth's dad was a drummer, and he kind of picked up a lot of musicianship from that. And so, but Kenneth is multifaceted. He's very good at, writing melodies, rhythm.
I'd say Saman's strengths are the same.
Yeah, we try to be very well-rounded.
Whether, on all ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Would you consider your company to be established?
I think we're established for, like we said before, with touching ground with a lot of bands throughout Southern California, Los Angeles, San Diego, wherever,
We've worked with like 30 to 40 bands, so I think that's
in the past 2 years,
Yeah, repertoire.
I would say pretty established.
What equipment do you use?
We have a lot of hardware and software that we've invested to over the years. Our main digital audio workstation is Pro Tools. But yeah, we've all brought our own gear, starting in the beginning days, as far as hardware and plugins and software and everything.
And we've just kind of slowly invested into, buying better and more gear over the time. It's kind of our main focus in growing a studio.
Okay. Thank you for your answers. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break with some more questions and answers, so please stay tuned.
The first thing that really sets Saddleback's film production classes apart from all the others is the fact that it's enormously emphasized on building job skills.
Many students get a job while they are still at Saddleback College. The most recent employers include Cox Communications, KOCE, KDOC, Dr. Phil, and Fox Sports West.
Come in, join us here at Saddleback, and become part of the history and the legacy and really the greatness that is happening here at Saddleback College.
And we're back. Thank you for staying tuned to the commercial break. I'm Brian Grinnell, and I'm with Kenneth and Saman, owners of Manifest Studios. So, how did you guys meet?
I was starting a band right after high school with a mutual friend of ours, and I didn't know Saman at the time, but our friend Ade, the one that I was starting a band with, knew him from high school, and basically we needed a keyboardist, and Saman was our guy, and he came to one of our practices, and from there we've built our friendship and business relationship over the years.
Okay, how did you guys decide to open up your own music studio?
Well, in the beginning, we had the band going. We recorded our own music, and Kyle and Kenneth started doing it. Working with Pro Tools and getting the hang of it. And I was always there. And then we thought we got a lot of positive feedback on our recordings, and
started taking in other bands.
Yeah, other bands wanted to work with us and record with us, basically. So we started from there.
How did you turn your studio into a business?
we started charging money.
Yeah, we just decided we didn't want to do it for free anymore. And then, yeah.
How do you get started in music?
I have like a lot of family members that were into music. Like on my mom's side, all my uncles played multiple instruments. And I was like the keyboard, piano, and I started when I was 20 years old, and that's pretty much when I was approached by our mutual friend AJ, and it was very early in me learning the piano when we started the band.
A late bloomer, but don't let it fool you.
But it like kind of jolted me to like get into music and got into production and all that.
Yeah, I was 11 when I asked my dad for my first guitar, and my dad was a drummer, Grandpa was a pianist, similar to Simon and everything. And yeah.
Great. So what advice would you give someone aiming to be in your kind of field of work, starting a studio, turning into a business? Any advice, tips?
Stay committed and driven and
don't
work
lose
hard.
the passion.
Yeah, don't lose your passion in it. Keep working.
Remember why you did it in the first place.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us on the show. But Liz, we ran out of time. Stay tuned over the credits for Play a Farewell by Hard Disclosure from Saddleback College. This is Brandon L, OC Spotlight. Thank you and good night.
Hello viewers, and thank you for tuning in to OC Spotlight on this lovely evening. I'm your host, Andrea Moore, and tonight we have a very special guest to introduce you to. Live in our studio from Saddleback College, I'm here with local minor league baseball player, Stefan Sable. Hi Stefan, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me out.
Alrighty, so baseball doesn't just come out of nowhere. What first sparked your interest and love for the game?
Definitely started when I was younger. When I was a little kid, my dad take me out to a lot of baseball games, and we bought a little plastic tee and work out front all the time and go hit in front of the house for hours on the day and kind of take it from there.
That's awesome. And were you good right away?
Yeah, I had a little natural talent. I was always a bigger kid when I was younger, so that kind of worked out for me a little bit.
And when you're good at something, you kind of stick with it?
Yeah, definitely.
Makes sense. So what was the recruiting process like once you hit high school?
It was definitely a little bit hectic in high school. We did a lot of showcases when I was going through my 4 years in high school, and you worked out at different colleges and minor league fields around California and did that. And pro scouts and college scouts would come out and watch you. And then once the draft came closer, that's when a lot of pro scouts would start coming to the house and kind of interview you like you're applying for a job and doing that. So
it's not just playing baseball, but people think.
No, definitely kind of trying to see how your mind works and what type of person you are and what kind of player you are, if you're a competitive one or if you're into other things. So
makes sense. Good to know all those things. So many people know about the major league process, but without knowing that most guys have to get their start in the minor leagues. So tell us about the minors.
It's not the most glamorous of lifestyles, especially compared to the big league guys. They get to take a plane to where they travel to, and they're sitting in the first class and whatnot. But we're taking a bus everywhere we go, so it's anywhere from a 3 to a 16-hour bus ride.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, the pay's not as good, obviously. They're making a lot more money than we are. In the lower levels, you won't even make, minimum wage for the 5 months that you're getting paid for. That's the other thing, we don't even get paid for the whole year. We only get paid for the 5 months of the season. But yeah, it's definitely not what everyone expects it to be.
Wow. Well, with all that said, would you say the treatment is fair?
Yeah, I mean, they do care about their players, and we are treated with respect and stuff. But as far as treatment, I would say maybe the pay isn't fair. I would say that
Yeah.
for the hours, we're spending there, from early in the afternoon from 1 to, when we get home at like 11:30, 12 o'clock. I mean, I'm pretty sure
That's
pay
not
could
a
be better.
normal work day.
No, could be a little bit better.
That's funny. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for all of your questions so far, or all of your answers so far. We will be going to a commercial break, but before we do that, real quick, what position is it that you play?
I play outfield, so I've been out there in high school. I was a catcher, and then now I transitioned to an outfield in pro ball. So it's a different change, but it's nice.
Alrighty. Well, like I said, we're going to go to a commercial break, so make sure you stay tuned with us. We'll be right back with Stefan here on OC Spotlight.
Saddleback College enriches its students and the South Orange County community by providing a comprehensive array of high-quality courses and programs. We foster student learning and success in the attainment of academic degrees and career technical certificates, transfer to four-year institutions, and improvement of basic skills. We hope Saddleback College will be your first choice.
And we are back here on OC Spotlight with minor league baseball player Stefan Sable. Let's get right back into the questions. So who represents you through the whole process of being a minor league player?
I'm with the Creative Artists Agency, known as CAA. They're a bigger company, and I've been with them since I was in high school. Not legally as my agent in high school, they were called my advisor, but then once I signed my pro contract, they became my legal agents, and they kind of just take care of me during the season, make sure everything's comfortable for me, and make sure all my gear is sent in, and they take care of all my contract agreements and negotiations, and make sure they do that for me.
So they're there kind of to make sure you're able to just focus on baseball?
Yeah, more or less, basically, yeah.
Awesome. Well, what has been your favorite experience so far playing in the minor leagues?
Definitely, I have a couple. My first one probably be in 2013. We won the South Atlantic League Championships and got to bring home a trophy and got a ring for it. So that was really cool, and winning the league, and it was the first one in the city of Savannah in about like 16 years. So that was pretty cool. And then my first year in Brooklyn, I played with Johan Santana, who was rehabbing, and he was, he's a Cy Young Award winner, an all-star, and so a guy who's been through the whole deal. And afterwards, after the game, we won, and he bought us a nice dinner instead of some other stuff that we usually got.
The usual fast food, you got a nice fine dining experience?
Yeah, definitely. Gave us a little bit of some Dominican and Venezuelan, some good dishes, so it was nice.
That little second of the major league treatment.
Yeah, just kind of like, oh, well, that's what it's like. So.
That's what you have to look forward to.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's what keeps us driving, especially in the minor leagues. I think that's what everyone, that little golden carrot of making it to the league. So.
Awesome. So where are you at right now with your career?
I was just in Savannah in Georgia, and it was a full season A-ball, so I was doing that, and hopefully keep playing and make a good team, play well in spring training, this upcoming spring training, and do well, and then make a squad, and hopefully by the end of this year be in Binghamton in AA. That would be my goal. So.
Awesome. Well, we wish you the very best of luck, and hopefully we'll be seeing you on ESPN and the major leagues nice and soon. But that seems to be all the time we have today. So thank you so much for being with us, and I hope you all have a great night out there. Thank you so much. I'm Andrea Moore from OC Spotlight.
What's up, Orange County? This is Marco Marzola here with OC Spotlight. Today we have with us a local entrepreneur who will give us some insight not only into the popular world of skateboarding, but into how he uses skateboarding as a tool in his nonprofit organization. He uses it as a means to reach out to kids, improve their lives, and help them get in touch with nature. Our special guest joining me here in the studio is the man of the hour, Todd Larson. Todd is living his dream. By running his nonprofit organization, Elemental Awareness, he combines his two main loves, nature and skateboarding. Hello, Todd. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about Elemental Awareness.
All right, Elemental Awareness is a nonprofit organization that we run through Element Skateboards, and the mission is to connect kids to nature through skateboarding.
Very cool. So how did it first start when you first, in the beginning of Elemental Awareness?
You know, Elemental Awareness began at Element YMCA's skate camp as a survival program. My background is in backpacking, and I studied environmental science at UC Santa Cruz, and it was just kind of a natural thing. I was working at the camp and decided that I wanted to, you know, start teaching all the stuff that I had learned in college and just from life experience, and kind of just went from there. And I met the right people, and we started it as a nonprofit in 2002.
Very cool. So what do you think is your favorite part about the organization?
I would say my favorite part of the organization is kind of just watching kids go from feeling uncomfortable in the wilderness to really feeling like it's a place where they feel familiar with. So the program aims to not only educate kids about the wilderness, but make them feel comfortable in it so that they decide that they want to go out and experience it more and more.
Very cool. So yeah, you mentioned your passion for nature, how you learned environmental studies in college. Where did your passion for skateboarding come from?
My passion for skateboarding came from when I was a really young kid. We had a ramp that my parents were not psyched on us dragging home. But really, yeah, started skateboarding as a young kid, put down all the rest of the traditional sports, and kind of never really looked back.
Very cool. Yeah. So what are the kinds of things that you guys do up in the mountains for the campers?
The campers that do the Elemental Awareness program, it's a wilderness survival program. So it's a 4-day course, and the first day they do shelter building. The second day they make fire by friction. Day 3 is water purification, boiling water with hot rocks. And day 4 is natural foraging. So they'll learn what plants and animals they can eat if they ever find themselves in a survival situation.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. And do they get to skateboard a little up there while they're there?
Yeah, they get to skate a ton.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, thanks for sharing that, Todd. That all sounds pretty useful. After the break, we'll come back and speak a little more with Todd about elemental awareness and the kinds of things that the campers get to do when they're up there. I noticed you said they get to make some of this stuff too. This is all, yep, very cool stuff, yeah. So yeah, just stick with us after the break, and we'll get more into elemental awareness after that.
The first thing that really sets Saddleback's film production classes apart from all the others is the fact that it's enormously emphasized on building job skills.
We provide our students with top-of-the-line HD equipment for the field, including cameras, audio, lighting packages, grip equipment, and all the other necessary tools so they can work on their projects and provide a professional product and use professional equipment. Saddleback College has always prided itself on being a very hands-on educational experience.
The whole premise of our classes in our department and the training and the equipment we buy, the reason that we have the latest in high-definition technology, the reason that we use industry standard lighting and audio, so that you can go out and get jobs actually in the field.
Thanks for staying with us for the break. I'm Marco Marzola, here with Todd, as he goes over with us what he does in elemental awareness. So what are some of the reactions that you get from the campers, Todd, after you've shown them all the cool stuff up at the camp?
You know, when they first come up to camp, like I said, they really don't know exactly what to expect. I mean, there's big trees, big lake, we have deers running around, you know, bears are getting into the trash cans at night. But once they do the course, figure out that, you know, the wilderness is not something to be feared, but almost like a skate park. It's once you know how to, you know, do this stuff, it can be a playground. So that's kind of how the two relate in my eyes. And yeah, it's just great to see the growth.
That sounds like some exciting stuff. Wow. And so they get to skateboard while they're up there, and they get to, you know, go over all that stuff. That's pretty special.
Yeah.
But skateboarding seems to have a bad rep, you know, in the cities. It seems like a lot of people kind of look down on it. How would you say that skateboarding's impacted some of the campers?
Well, you know, over the years, we've seen a lot of kids come through the program, especially from really low-income areas. And skateboarding, although it's seen as something that's, you know, maybe not, you know, so good, we've actually seen it be a shield for kids in the ghetto. When kids are skating through bad neighborhoods, people don't mess with them. It's just they're just skating, and it gives them a positive outlet instead of, you know, joining a gang or, you know, hustling drugs and stuff like that.
They can use skateboarding to stay out of that.
Yeah.
So how can people contribute to elemental awareness?
People can contribute to elemental awareness by just getting involved. You know, contact us, check out the website. We have tons of different programs all over the country that we do. And yeah, just give us a call, give us an email, give us a text message, and just try to get involved.
Very cool. It's all over the world. Is it mainly, you said, is it mainly in the mountains?
It's our flagship camp is in the mountains, but we do a traveling tour all over the country and even globally.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Todd. I really appreciate that. Well, that organization sounds amazing, and the story is just inspirational. Thanks for sharing all of that. And thanks for tuning in with us today at OC Spotlight, everybody. I'm your host, Marco Marzola, and to learn more about elemental awareness, you can contribute. Check out the info on your screen now.
Hello everyone, welcome to OC Spotlight right here on Saddleback's Channel 39. I'm your host Alec Newbolz, and we have a very exciting show for you today. Music and activism often come together as artists use their talents to inspire and unite. Today we'll be discussing this very phenomenon with a major player in the Orange County music scene, my good friend Gabe Rosales. Gabe, thanks for being here today.
My pleasure, it's an honor.
So let's start with some basic info about you. When did you first start playing music?
I probably started messing around with my mom's guitar when I was like 8 or 9 years old, and then, you know, I was predominantly a lyricist. I was writing lyrics for, you know, like a death metal band, writing poetry and stuff like that, and just it evolved to something else. And then, you know, the drummer of the band that I was playing with had an extra bass. We didn't have a guitar player, so I picked up the bass and started jamming. Within about 3 or 4 months, we were playing.
All right, so as you evolved musically, who would you say became some of your biggest influences?
Well, you know, if you keep an open mind when you're playing music and you consistently grow in your musicianship, you'll find different artists that kind of, you know, take you through out of your like little box. So, you know, anywhere from Jaco Pastorius, Victor Wooten, B.B. King, Albert Collins, John Schofield. There's all kinds of jazz, funk, and death metal guys that, you know, influenced me a lot.
Death metal, badass.
You got it.
I don't know if I can say that. No, Gabe, you played with some huge names over the years, including Andy Summers, Jennifer Lopez, Christina Milian. How did you get to that level?
Well, I started, well, right out of high school, I pretty much went on tour, and I got a you know, voice on George Lynch's Lynch Mob album. This was in 1999, so it was awesome. You know, I got to go on tour. I turned 21 on the road, and so from that point on, just through word of mouth, I kept getting more gigs because you know, obviously I was young. And, you know, for the pop gigs, they want younger-looking players. They don't want a bunch of old dudes behind a bunch of pop girls, you know what I mean? So it kind of just kept going like that.
All right, so you have that long history with other artists, but there is another side to your work. In 2009, you released an original album entitled Vital Nonsense. Talk about that for a bit.
Well, I hadn't released anything that was my own, you know, and I was playing with different people all the time and just part of different groups, so I wanted to do an original project of songs that I had written, and so I got a bunch of my friends to play on the album. I got the drummer of Jane's Addiction, and members of Prince's band, and a bunch of awesome innovative rappers that started hip hop movements and stuff like that. And I released it in 2009, and it encompasses all the music that I like playing because I wanted to release an album that had every style of music on it, and so that's what I decided to do.
That's fantastic. So now your latest project is this documentary with George Lynch. It's called Shadow Train Under a Crooked Sky. Tell us about this.
Well, Shadow Train is it's a band as well as it's a movie, and it's it's a documentary on Native American genocide and Western imperialism. We went up all through the United States, went to a lot of reservations, donated instruments to kids, Native kids programs and stuff like that, and got to go to Alcatraz too and interviewed lots of very interesting people.
Well, that must have been very enlightening.
That's awesome.
What were some of the things that you did for the film?
We went up through Colorado, Wyoming, South Dakota. I got to march with the Lakota Sioux for the first annual official Leonard Peltier Day. He's a political prisoner, and so stuff like that, and just traveling around the United States and going to Alcatraz with the people that occupied it in the '60s was a huge deal for me. It was awesome.
All right, and real quick, when will we get a chance to see it?
Hopefully the beginning of next year, because they're in the editing process right now, so it should be out hopefully you'll be able to see it at the beginning of next year, I think.
Well, I am certainly looking forward to that. So we need to take a very quick commercial break. Gabe, don't go anywhere. We will be right back. We'll have more OC Spotlight for you after this. Stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Charles Myers, and I'm a professor here at Saddleback College. I am actually a believer that our program here at Saddleback is pretty clearly one of the top public colleges, either 4-year or 2-year, in the nation. Hopefully, you'll come in, become part of the history and the legacy and the greatness that is happening here at Saddleback College.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here at OC Spotlight. I'm Alec Newbles, your host. We're talking to musician and activist Gabe Rosales. So we've discussed some of your musical history and projects. We've discussed Shadow Train, Vital Nonsense, which brings me to my next question. How did you get involved in activism?
Well, being on tour and just kind of being part of this chaotic lifestyle and drinking a lot and doing lots of drugs and stuff like that, I got eventually I found myself locked up. So when I ended up getting locked up, it was a huge eye-opening experience. Nelson Mandela says that you don't really know a country unless you go through its prison system. So going there, I got to see how the justice system worked. I got to see how much money was made off of prisoners in jail. Obviously, if you have a justice system that's for profit, very little justice can be administered. So from that point on, once I got out and I sobered up, I realized that I wanted to take my music in a different direction and not be part of the problem, really, but start addressing some of these issues in the world.
All right, so now you are a member of a number of activist organizations, a couple of which you're representing right there, Zulu Nation, Guerrilla Republic. So what are some of the societal issues that you're trying to combat in these groups?
Well, indigenous people's rights is a big one. There's a lot of things we can learn from indigenous people in terms of just how they work with the earth. Not all tribes, obviously. There's lots of different variation between people, but in terms of Western imperialism and just, using and never giving back. We live on a finite planet. We're going to run out of resources eventually, so it's really good, especially if you care about children and the future generation, to pay attention to how much you're using and basically your footprint, and being able to give something back.
All right, well, Gabe, I want to thank you for being here. The album is Vital Nonsense. It's available on iTunes. You can check up on what Gabe is doing at GabeRosales.com.
Lastly, don't forget to check out Shadow Train Under a Crooked Sky, directed by George Lynch and coming very soon. That's all the time we have, but because it would just be lame to have you talk about all your music and not play anything, just be holding that guitar for some reason, we're going to have you play a song. This is Dry from the album Vital Nonsense.
It's Dry.
The bigger man could justify disgust. I can't believe that once I was sober, slept alone with excuses to hide the truth, to hurt the one that's closest to